This is Josiah Plays Divinity Original Sin 2. We just picked up Thane in our party, and he seems pretty cool. I'm gonna check him out. What did it say? I've just gained a new skill, but it must be talking about Thane's skills, not my skills. Thane has a small poison bottle, which would heal him. Another backpack with nothing in it. A resurrection scroll, an oil flask. Hubert's Encyclopedia Volume 4, Illusion in the Black Ring. One volume of Cranley Hubert's extensive encyclopedia series, and Thane's notebook. And he can carry 100 pounds. And now I have my companions.
I've met an unusual skeleton called Thane. Someone stole his mask on the boat here, and he needs to get it back or craft a new one. Until then, he'd better keep his face covered. Tells me he's an Eternal, the last of a lost race, and wants to discover what happened to his people. He thinks he'll find his answers at the Black Pit's oil fields on Reaper's Coast.
Okay. You know what would be a good feature is if I could go to one of these dialogues and like save it. Like have it save that dialogue and not just have that roll off once we once it gets to the end of the list there. Alright, what can Thane do? He's got 30 health just like me. He's got 13 initiative just like me. Basic attack. He's got chameleon cloak. Backlash. Got a decent range. It's got chicken claw. Can play dead. Fool enemies into thinking you're dead. Time warp. Sucker punch. Knock somebody down for 1 AP. That's pretty nice. Alright. Thane is wearing a tattered cowl. Now if he takes this off, he's all Skeletor. Got crappy clothes, a source collar, woven hand wraps, and prisoner's boots. At least he's got boots, and he's got a shiv. I can give him another shiv, and now he can use flurry. He's got 12 finesse and 11 wits. That's not very good. Wits. He's got 200% poison resistance, which means he gets 100% healing from poison. 1 polymorph, 1 scoundrel. 1 thievery. So he can lockpick or pickpocket. He's got gorilla, ingenious, and undead. Regular healing will damage him. Cracks in reality lead you to other times and places. Some of the void, some of the gods. Your vision is not quite your own, but you can make use of it. Intelligent and curious, your appetite for learning far exceeds your taste for bloodshed. Books and scrolls are your dearest possessions. You woke up and your world was gone. The last of your kind, you hide behind a charmed mask, searching for the truth about a history that no one knew existed. Some undead seek to return to life. Others long for the sweet embrace of oblivion. They move amongst the other races unseen, apex predators who can't afford detection. Lately, an unfamiliar voice beckons to them from a world unknown. Okay, and he's also human. Well, we've got him now. He's our rogue. He's not really particularly good at sneaking, though, is he? But he kind of doesn't need to be, since he's got invisibility, which is pretty nice. How long does that last in real time? So he turns invisible, and he cruises around. He gets poisoned. He doesn't care because that heals him. I think the poison damage broke his invisibility. This guy's got 8 gold and some wood chips. Thanks for the exclamation point, son. Beware of splinters. These small chips and scraps of wood are more pernicious than a single log. Soften them up to avoid injury. The Gniff has now been fed. What did you eat? So if I don't want my guy to follow, he can run through poison. Being poisoned actually heals him. You can come over here and check out the view. Hey, there's a cave down there. And a tree trunk. Why is tree trunk showing up? It's actually something you can attack. Maybe you can attack it and get wood from it. Poison. There's a crate. Oh, look at all this. A standard forest mushroom, rumored by elder wayfarers to possess healing powers. Where the layman sees simple scraps, the crafty eye foresees all manner of handy applications. And an improvised staff. Okay. I can't take an ooze barrel, it's too heavy. Well, actually, I could give it to Fane. He's got some inventory weight. The skull truly says it all. I think that's all that's in here. Because as I mouse over, I'm not picking up anything else. So I've got Fane, I need to go get my other two. Which means I need to go into the city itself.
I've spotted something.
Ooh, something hidden has been revealed. The higher your wits, the more likely you are to reveal traps and secrets. Perfect.
I don't have the right tool for digging.
The ground here appears freshly dug. If you have a shovel, or if you're a lizard, you can dig here to seek buried treasure. Interesting. Okay. Let's see if we can find our way into the place where the people are. They're in here somewhere. I'm getting the feeling that I'm going to have to go through that scene to get in there at all. Getting that feeling. I like what they did on the map where they show you the walkable spaces as well as just the whole map so that you know where you can actually go and where you can't. More than a feeling.
I know nothing of any verse.
Alexander.
Need I repeat
But wait.
myself?
We already
He's too
know
well
the truth,
protected here.
Magister. Now speak.
Alice the
I am a
Hammer.
proud loyal to the Order. I would not dream of subverting our cause.
Wow.
Atusa, please.
Your Godwoken has asked you a question. Answer him.
Need I repeat myself?
But I know nothing of any Verdus.
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
I am a proud loyal to the Order. I would not dream of subverting our cause.
The Hammer's Pet. Look at these things.
Please.
These
Your
things look
Godwoken
scary.
has asked you a question.
Then you've
Answer
got the
him.
bishop himself
Need I repeat myself?
and some
I know nothing of
magisters.
any Verdus.
There's Boris, the
We
guy
already
we're
know
supposed
the
to
truth,
speak to.
Magister. Now speak.
Then
I
this
am a
magister,
proud
who's a
loyal to the
lizard,
Order.
is the
I
one
would
that
not
they're
dream of
questioning.
subverting our cause.
Look at Bishop Al. He has a lot of
Please.
armor and a lot of
Your
health.
Godwoken has asked you a question. Answer him.
And Dallas the Hammer is a total
Need I repeat
badass
myself?
with a lot of armor and
I
health.
know nothing of any Verdus.
Let's attack!
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
So I think this is the only way in. I have to walk through this scene.
Atusa, please.
And I
Your
noticed she also
Godwoken has
said
asked you a
Goat
question.
Godwoken.
Answer him.
So Alexander must be the Godwoken.
Need I repeat myself?
Whatever that means. Yeah, the conversation's on a loop,
I know
obviously.
nothing of any Verdus.
So I better save the game before I proceed here, in case I fuck something up.
We already know the truth.
Goat
Magister.
Waken?
Now speak. Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
Hi, Dallas. What are you doing later?
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
She's not very nice, though.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
So Dallas is in charge of the Magisters. Alright, let's see. Injustice. You won't find out. I can say this because of my personal background. No, fuck that. Fuck head down and mouth shut. Want information, gold would buy more than torture. I don't really like any of the special ones all that much.
Whether she's telling truth or lies, you won't find out by mutilating her.
Stay silent, you!
Bishop Alexander looks up at the sound of your voice, curiosity on his face. Recognition seems to flicker in his eyes for a moment, but then he shakes his head and looks back towards the suffering Atusa. Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root.
Oh, hell no.
Eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years.
Keep in mind that my quest is to kill this guy, Bishop Alexander.
The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it.
I don't think it's quite that black and white, but whatever.
Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
Oh, suddenly everybody just... Oh, I leveled up.
What
And I got journal updates. Reflection
will be
dialogues.
needed elsewhere.
Click on party members that have exclamation marks above their head to initiate a reflection dialogue. You know what I should have done, though? I gained a level. No, maybe I shouldn't have. Magister Atusa just got obliterated.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Now I have 45 health. Alright, tell me about my journal entries.
We witnessed the death of a magister named Atusa at the hands of Dallas, the right hand of the Divine Order's leader, Bishop Alexander. It seems that there's dissent in the ranks of the Order. Perhaps this is something we can exploit in order to escape.
If you initiate 2 reflection dialogues, you'll go into an infinite loop. Be careful. I'll keep an eye out for that, son. Signs of resistance.
We watched as a magister named Atusa was executed for dissent. Perhaps there are other dissenters willing to help us escape. I've seen my target, Divine Bishop Alexander. However, he's too well protected at the moment. I'll need to find a way to isolate him. Also, I need to figure out a way to get through his 300 and some odd points of armor.
Okay. Dallas the Hammer. Please, Hammer, don't hurt him. Direction scroll. Atusa's leg. This bloodied limb is evidence of the Hammer's ruthlessness. Elves can eat limbs and experience memories of the person to whom the limb belonged.
Is it not enough that you travel with me? Must you speak too? Go on then, bark away. Let's see if we can find any method in it.
I think I missed the reflection dialogue. I didn't realize it had a time limit. But it did, I guess. Alright, well, hold on. Waypoint travel. Oh, that's convenient. Hold the fuck on. I was just thinking, before I trigger this, maybe I should get the Red Prince. So that way I could have a reflection dialogue with him, even though I'm going to kick him out of my party.
We already know the truth, Majesty.
Maybe I should go get him first. I don't remember exactly where he was, though. It's over this way somewhere. He's out there on that rock, I think. Alright, I've got to try something for science. You're kind of inane today? Well, it's not just today, son. It's okay. Alright, if I unequip this, the supernatural masquerade. The living cannot stand the sight of undead. To avoid triggering panic and hostility everywhere you go, be sure to cover your head, torso, and legs. Now, what if I unequip his hood, and I use him to talk to the prince?
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be...
Some characters prefer to talk to your avatar. If the avatar is near, the conversation will start with them automatically. Ah, he won't talk to Fane. I wanted to see if he would freak out about the undead guy. You can recap all tutorial messages by viewing the tutorial log.
Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep.
Ah, it's you again. Welcome. I'm glad you survived the ship.
The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
You want to dive into that water? Me too. His eyes are smoldering embers. That's pretty intense.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold.
I feel like the Red Prince's voice is not lizardy enough. He pretty much sounds just like Fane.
You have my gratitude.
You're welcome.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
I was glad to be of help. Can't just stand idly by when people are in danger. What kind of a world would it be if we all did that?
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Now then, if there's nothing further.
What are you doing here, standing on that rock?
I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean?
Bunch of bad ways to die.
I see memories. Childhood days spent in the sun.
Memories. Quite so.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost.
How Miltonian of you. Paradise Lost.
That's a rather specific vision you have there. Why an empire?
Of course it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
How do you lose an empire?
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am?
Someone who had an empire to lose. I'm afraid I don't run with that kind of crowd.
Well, more's the damn pity, isn't it? For I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun.
This guy really thinks he's important for a dude who only has 30 hit points.
Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have.
It's been absolutely riveting, but you have to dash.
Well, would you like to lend your cause to mine? Maybe I could even help you win your throne back. Who knows?
Actually, hold on. I have to dash.
Then by all means, dash.
He watches you depart without another word, then turns back to face the sea.
I'm gonna have so many save games. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yes, I'm still here, contemplating my throne. Truly, a kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship, after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company.
All right, I promise.
Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic and, yes, even subterfuge. What say you?
I'm interested in someone with a little muscle.
Do not take my elegance as a mask for frailty. My blows shatter shields, and my thrusts pierce armor. If a warrior you need, the warrior you'll have.
Changed my mind.
Wavering is a sign of weakness, so make your choice and stand by it.
What about someone with a little finesse? Are you comfortable in the dexterous arts?
Finesse is a condition one should assume in any situation, from dining to discourse to dueling. What situations do you have in mind?
Actually, I've changed my mind again.
Wavering is a sign of weakness, so make your choice and stand by it.
Tell me about your affinity for the arcane arts.
Wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no school of magic I cannot master.
Actually...
Wavering is a sign of weakness.
Forget it.
So make your choice and stand by it.
Let's stick with fighter. Just stay true to your vocation.
Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
That settles it.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, My Lord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off.
Yeah, I don't think I'm keeping this guy. I've already learned about splitting the party. I've got a journal update.
Met with a lizard known as Red Prince, a royal who was exiled from his empire. He has joined my party in the hopes of finding a lizard dreamer somewhere on this island, though to what end he would not reveal.
Alright, so now I've got them. I wonder if I should have, like, the whole conversation with both of these guys right now. I kind of think I should. I don't know where to get Beast, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that you get Sabile and Lowe's just in the city part somewhere. Who the fuck is Stingtail? Do I have something about Stingtail in my journal? Stingtail. I know I need to talk to Magister Boris. Oh, maybe Stingtail is the dreamer that the Red Prince wants to talk to. Alright, I guess I'll probably... Let's actually check out the Red Prince. So he's got a crappy shield. With a bit of imagination, this could serve as a shield. He's got a knife on a stick, a one-handed sword which scales with strength. Wow, that thing really is a knife on a stick. Literally, it's a knife on a stick. Threadbare gown and threadbare pants. 11 strength, 12 con. He's got one in Geomancer and one in Warfare. Battle Stomp, Bouncing Shield. It's kind of a lame power. Fortify. Oh, that's pretty good. Wow, Fortified. Target cannot be teleported. Removes a bunch of conditions. I don't know what Minalove is, son. Yeah, my first brush with Fort Joy was a lizard who tried to cut its own tongue out and then got exploded by a religious fanatic. Can do Dragon's Blaze, can do Demonic Stare. Do Shields Up. "1984, you cretin." Well, I've read 1984, but it was a long time ago. The only things I remember from 1984 are Double Plus Good. Also, I always get 1984 and Brave New World mixed up because I read them like one right after the other, and I always forget like which things were in which. Minalove is where the protagonist gets sent for re-education. Oh, I remember him getting sent for re-education. I didn't remember the name of it. Okay, so the Red Prince has another Resurrection Scroll, a heal, a Firestorm Grenade. Alright. Let us converse with these fine people. I'm gonna save again. I know I'm saving more than is strictly necessary. I'm gonna do a little water porridge here. Get my water from and ice from 2 bottles into 1 bottle. That ice is gonna run out soon. Alright, we're gonna talk to the Red Prince some. One tiny hype. Thanks for the bit, boss. Should quick save too, just to be sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was looking at the Red Prince's stuff. So he can fortify himself with Geomancer. He can barter. He's got a little bit of persuasion from his race. He's got fire and poison resistance. Born to riches and luxury, you have an aristocratic bearing, eloquent speech, and the finest manners. You are infamous, a brilliant warrior general exiled from his empire for cavorting with demons. Fallen from grace, you refuse to give up. The throne will be yours again. For a whole, like, brilliant warrior general, he should have a lot more vitality than that, shouldn't he? Lizards of the ancient empire are cultured aristocrats, source adepts who follow rules of law. Outsiders see their society as elitist. Lizards see outsiders as servants. Alright, let's talk to the Red Prince.
Yes, by all means, let us partake in the art of conversation.
What do you think we should do next?
I intend to rule an empire one day, not a tiny outcropping in the sea, lording over gulls and guppy fish. To that end, I suggest we focus on the obvious. A farewell to Fort Joy and a hello to the mainland.
Well, it's not a bad idea. I'm glad you survived the shipwreck.
As am I. A prince should die of old age or on the battlefield. Anything else could be construed as weakness of character. That said, I've the distinct feeling I wasn't meant to die today, for despite your heroics, I was still cast into the water. I sank. I drowned. But there was something in the water. A voice made of air that soothed my flooding lungs. There was sudden light, warmth, life.
That's amazing. That's exactly what happened to me. I also heard a voice as I was tossing in the waves.
Truly? How intriguing. To hear a voice whilst drowning is a rather specific delusion to share, is it not? Still, I wonder if...
He hesitates.
Are you a religious person?
No, not really.
I'm rather relieved to hear it. Religious persons tend to be all too self-important in their supposed humility.
I gained 2 rep with him. I can examine a companion to check their current attitude toward me. Companions who really don't like you will leave your party. I can't do that while I'm in dialogue with him.
As for myself, I perform the ancient rites of prayer and ceremony with a kind of languid indulgence. After all, when one is revered by many as a living god oneself, public deprecation would be needlessly self-important as well, wouldn't you say?
I don't know anything about that. What got you here? How is it possible that a former emperor ends up in this filthy prison?
There was a small incident which prompted my many rivals to move against me. Technically, they had the letter of the law on their side. Such a nuisance, the law. Quite necessary to keep the common in line, of course, but one such as myself it should exempt as a matter of course.
I agree with you. Too many laws keep people under the thumb of authority.
What I meant was that, being authority, I shouldn't be under any thumb. I had thought that was perfectly obvious. Sadly, that enlightened point of view quite clearly turned out to be academic. If not, we wouldn't be having this very conversation.
How you doing, boss? Welcome.
So, was it a display of sauce that got you into trouble?
I hardly know you as yet. Let's leave some mystery in the relationship, shall we? We can exchange criminal records later.
You said you need to find a dreamer. I don't really know what that is. Why do you need one so badly?
There isn't much to say, but for the fact that I simply must. It's the portent of it all. I can feel it. The revelation will be world-changing. I just know it.
This quest sounds important. It sounds important.
I'm most intrigued. Tell me more. You've got me all curious now.
And justified it is too. You'll be a witness to wonders, I assure you. As certain as the sun, such is my conviction. I will be, then grow beyond being.
I don't know what that means, but I'll take my leave for now.
Yes. Is it an audience you desire? I intend to rule an end. To that end, I suggest we focus...
Alright, now we'll talk to Thane. Thane! He wants to live forever! And the funny thing is, he's an immortal. So he is living forever.
Is it not enough that you travel with me? Must you speak too? Go on then, bark away. Let's see if we can find any method in it.
Well then, if you're so wise and all-knowing, what should our next move be?
Well, I thought a brief swim in the sea, lying in the sun for a while, and maybe read a nice book. Or, perhaps, and this is just a thought, we could find my mask and escape this wretched island.
So this mask you're looking for, what is it exactly?
The Mask of the Shapeshifter? In my time, it was nothing more than a novelty. A toy, really. I crafted one for my child once. She spent the day trying to convince me that she was her mother, even though the face I used looked nothing like her. Of course, now that toy could be the difference between life and... well, it makes a difference.
Because he's already dead.
With that mask, I can shapeshift and walk through this world looking like any other simple mortal. I could look like a lizard, a dwarf, a human, any creature whose face I can procure.
That does sound pretty useful.
It certainly makes traveling through towns easier.
How do you feel about having to hide your true face in fear?
Fear? Please. Why would I fear these creatures?
Because you only have 30 health. Just saying.
It's a practical choice. Nothing more. Moving through this world is so much easier when you don't have to lecture some torch-wielding lunatics on the dangers of an open flame.
Interesting. How do you craft a shape-shifting mask exactly?
Oh, it's quite simple. One just acquires a face, a source orb, and combines the two to make a face mask. Combining several of these single face masks along with a source orb will produce a mask of the shapeshifter. Frankly, I'm amazed everyone isn't doing it.
You have to get a face. I mean, there's not really that many spare faces lying around.
Oh, of course there are. How many hundreds of thousands of you people have died over the years? Almost all of them seem to have been disposed of while still wearing perfectly serviceable faces.
Don't waste that face.
It's a terrific waste. Still, without the proper tool to remove the face from a corpse, I cannot take advantage of the many cadavers you're providing. So if you happen across anything that seems capable of ripping a face off a body, please do let me know.
I'll keep that in mind. Well, regardless of whether or not this mask is a toy, as you call it, it could be a powerful weapon.
Trust you bloody-minded beasts to turn a child's trinket into a wicked purpose. People like you are the reason it must be recovered. I am using the mask to keep myself safe from the violence of this world. Who knows what evil it could do in the hands of some mortal witch.
Alright, let's talk about something else. I'm curious about your people. You mentioned them. You said you're the Eternals. What are your people like?
Ah, this is perhaps the first intelligent question you have asked. After all, one should always try to learn from one's betters.
Actually, you just remembered you don't care.
Of course. That's what I'm doing.
My people are a race far beyond anything that exists in the world today. We seek to master the secrets of the universe.
So in other words, Skeletor here seeks to be one of the masters of the universe? Huh?
We craft wonders to last through the ages, long after your crude tools have rusted to nothing.
What did these wonders look like?
There is a great variety among our people. Some are tall and lithe, others short and muscled. Some come in a variety of eye-catching colors. Others you can barely see at all. This is what makes you such an abomination, you see. You almost look exactly like every other human out there, just as every lizard looks like every other lizard. Walking through this world is as repulsively bland as staring at a wall for a century. After a while, the very sight of you disgusts me. No offense, of course.
Oh, no offense. You just said we discussed you. But you look just like every skeleton. These wonders you speak of, if they were built to last so long, where are they now?
I do not know.
Right, exactly. You don't know.
There are rumors that some have been found at the Black Pits, an oil field on Reaper's Coast.
Don't know where that is.
I was trying to uncover the truth when I was waylaid by these magisters.
He has been waylaid by enemies and must defend himself. What is up, Splode? Welcome, Splode. Good to see ya. How you doing?
But wherever the artifacts of my people are, I will find them. We have not simply vanished into thin air.
Keep saying, we have. But really, you mean we did. We're using the present tense, but your people are long past.
No. No, I should not. Not yet. Not until I know what truly befell my people. And, after all, I am still here, despite the Voidwoken's best efforts.
My people must seem very alien to you. What do you think of us? Go ahead and be honest.
Oh, I think of them as little as possible. As much, I imagine, as you think of gadflies that buzz about you. Not that there is anything wrong with you, of course, just that you're, well, not all that impressive.
I don't know. Humans are no better or worse than any other race. They're prone to hatred and infighting. But, when it's important, we can come together. I suppose we have good and bad within us, just like every other race.
As impeccably mundane as I have come to expect from this world.
Yeah, I'm playing as Ifan, Splode, but I built him as a two-handed weapon fighter with warfare and polymorph so far. And I spec'd into strength and wits and have persuasion.
Regardless, further study will be required. In fact...
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. After a moment, he pauses and looks back to you.
Sorry, do carry on. Just act as you do in your natural environment. Simply pretend I'm not here.
He's taking notes.
That's alright, Splode. I've only been playing for about 4 hours. I spent a whole hour just on character creation, and then I spent forever just on the starting ship, searching around and looting everything and talking to all the people. So I haven't gotten very far in the game.
Go on then, bark away. Let's see if we can find any method in it.
I don't know how long you've been around since you came out of this tomb, but you seem... well, you seem not to know very much about the world. Why are you so ignorant?
Ignorant? I dare say I have a better knowledge of this world than any creature living in it. Oh, I may be missing some social mores or be unaware of what king waged which war, but why nitpick?
I agree. I always did find history a little tedious.
Waiting for a letter is tedious. What I have gone through is torture. Your history is an interminably dull list of mortals that were born, achieved nothing of worth, and then died.
You do make it sound rather pathetic.
Certainly one may have expanded his kingdom, or another invented some way of pickling fish, but what does it matter? Where will your kingdoms be in 100 years? In 1,000? They will all be dust, along with each and every one of your great heroes.
Alright then. What is worth knowing?
Your people and nations come and go, mayflies screaming their importance at a universe that cannot listen. But the universe is always there. The laws that govern your states change over centuries, but the laws of the world... Even when my people walked this land, a dropped apple still fell to the ground. I have yet to see the mortal king that can decree all apples must fall up from their trees, or order fire to produce cold instead of heat. No, these laws stretch to infinity. Understanding them lets you understand the world.
So he's a scientist.
That is knowledge worth having. Everything else is arguing over who has built the prettiest sandcastle as the waves creep closer.
You have a point. You've given me much to think on. Let's keep going for now.
Alright, so we've spoken with Thane and the Red Prince, and we're now going to move over to that other scene. I don't think I can get any more companions outside of the big city itself. I mean, I don't want to look around and explore everything carefully because I want to get my whole group together before I start exploring. So I think I have to go into the city now.
I never want to set foot on a stuffier boat ever again. Never.
I don't know what's going on over here. Oh, it's Trice. Well, we don't want to talk to her right now. We don't want to talk to anybody right now. Honestly, all we want to do is go in here.
I know nothing but any Verdus.
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
Now I'm gonna save again.
I am a proud loyal to the Order. I would not dream of subverting our cause.
Atusa, please.
I wonder if the game is paused when I have this going.
Your godwork has asked you a question. Answer him.
I guess it must be.
Need I repeat myself?
Alright. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. If you're watching the stream, don't go anywhere because I'm not done playing. If you're watching on YouTube, this episode's now at an end, so thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Divinity Original Sin 2.